Hey everyone, it's almost midnight in France. It's been a crazy day. I have completed the marble lanes and I've made a bike ride along the Mediterranean. I managed to put the marble lanes back on the CNC machine and recut this angle. So the angle of the lanes is now much steeper, causing more over rotations, and the marbles are slower across all the channels. So recutting this part on the CNC machine is always nervous because you need to get the part in kind of perfect position. And I had saved my 0 since last time with a little mark in the plywood. So it really helped me doing this. So in earlier episodes, I measured the time that the marbles took in slow motion. And I'm gonna measure the time again now so we see what the final time is and what the difference we have made. Okay, let's compare. Over here is the old times from before the new angle, and now I'm going to count the frames for each lane. So let's go. 87 on lane 2. So notice how cool it is when there's multiple groups of marbles in the marble lanes at the same time. That's another wonderful effect of the lanes being slower. I would like there to be like 3 groups at the same time. That would be the best. So the 3 last lines is after the CNC operation. So you can see there are consistently longer lines, which means that the marbles are consistently slower, which is absolutely great. It doesn't look so much difference in this chart actually. And here was right after I've been hand sanding this lane, which tells me we can actually make them slower. Not today. I'm going to consider this mole whacked, knowing that I can put this back on the CNC machine again and maybe go even slower. The idea works anyway. I'm very happy with this result. This was important because otherwise the marbles bumped into each other and bumped out of the marble divider. Anyway, this is done. Today I had a lovely day going on a bike ride on the Mediterranean. It was lovely being out biking, feeling the wind from the ocean. I know for problem solving and for the whole Marble Machine X process that if I go and do some exercise like this, it's really good long term. So there will be more of that for me this spring. Bike race is on. Not a lot of people know this, but this is actually Mount Doom. If Frodo only had a bike. Oh, there's a bird. So these are mimosa. That's a certain sign of spring. It's everywhere. He's a little faster than me, but not a lot. Mimosa is the first, and then comes the almond trees. Neat cypresses and some palms. Wow, look at this mimosa village. So the real scary thing with these waters is not the mimosa. It's filled with this large animal. Look how angry he is. Hit the brakes before the bridge. Shout out to Max, Anton and Jaap. They teach me everything they know about biking, and that is a lot. So I'm getting faster every time. All that biking will make me sleep very sound tonight. I'm looking forward to tomorrow when I can start something new because these marble lanes are done. These marble lanes are done. These marble lanes are done. New day, everything has changed. I'm going to redo all these marble lanes. Nothing makes me happier than taking a decision like this. Big news have come in on the Vintergatan Discord with the technique to actually CAD these marble lanes with the angle in a much cleaner way. The holy grail of angled marble lanes. You can't just dangle a carrot like that in front of me. So I started the day in a crisis where I was very critical against my own decision, and I tried to motivate this decision for myself. So I'm going to try to explain to you how I told myself it's the right decision. First of all, is it really absolutely deadly necessary to redo this? No. It's not. Let's just be honest why that. This would kind of work. But here's a list of everything I can do right in the new design. Here, the marbles are entering quite late in the marble wider. I'm a little bit worried for the early vibraphone, especially if I play arpeggio like... That means that often you use a low note like... That's 30 marbles right there in that little 5 seconds of music. So I'm a little worried of not actually being able to feed 30 marbles into those low parts of those arpeggios with this design. 2. When I saw the slow-mo shots of several groups being on the paths at the same time, I was like, oh, that's so beautiful. And I am pretty sure I can slow down the marbles much more, which will create this amazing cascading waterfall effect. And that is just too beautiful to ignore. 3. If you remember, I talked about these mounting holes being too close to the marble action. When I've been measuring the marbles in slow motion, I've been seeing that the outmost marbles are actually kind of obstructed by the walls and these bolts. The plywood has cracked here and here, and it just doesn't feel right. So with the new design, I'm going to do what I said that I could have done from the beginning. I'm gonna make it wider, make a new welding attachment, and have this adjustable bolt location solid with a lot of plywood around them. Remember, I criticized the previous design for being brittle, and here we have plywood cracking because it's 1 millimeter thin because it's badly designed. So I can just redo that and do it right. 4. In this design, the marble is sitting pretty low. You hardly see it from the side. So the top of the marble is almost at the top of the plywood. With the new marble lanes, I realized that I can get the marbles to ride so that half of the marble is sticking up above the surface. More beautiful. 5. The plywood here, I made it pretty thin. I used guitar lacquer to strengthen it, but I felt kind of like, ages and ages of marbles pounding on it. Maybe it will hurt it. It's holding up perfectly. I actually think it's thick enough, but in the new design, I can remove that perhaps brittleness. I said no brittleness, and then I made a brittle design over here, so I can fix that. But most of all, the real reason is that this just makes me so happy and so inspired. Why am I doing all this? Because I love to learn new stuff. And when you dangle the carrot of a better solution in front of me, I will run for it. This really touches why I'm doing all this. And I've learned that when I'm just following my gut feeling of what really ignites the fire within me, you know, that's when I'm having the most fun with this crazy journey. And the process you've seen me doing here and doing over, it's like I've been doing this with everything on the whole marble machine. That's why it's taking so long time, but that's also why in the end this is going to be so absolutely crazy cool. So hopes. How ugly that marble was wrong. Did you see that? Pff, go away. I made a test track for the new marble angles. Look at this. On these test tracks, I've cut different angles of the marble lane with a decreasing angle of 6 degrees, like 60, 54, 48, 42, etc. With this, I can do real world testing in what speed I actually want from the marbles. I'm going to release the marbles at the exactly same time, and you should see a nice spread of the marble speed. How beautiful is that? By using my angle finder, I can then do a better idea when I cut the first part. Actually, pretty good demonstration. You see, the fastest lane was the only one that jumped out. That's a pretty good demonstration of the issue I had when the marbles were too fast and jumped out of the marble divider. The other marbles stayed within because we controlled their kinetic energy. Anti-gravity marble lanes. So this is the slowest path. Wow, it still goes. That is so magical. Anyway, this gets me excited. This is going to be so cool. And learning how to deal with gravity and learning the physics of marble lanes. I mean, for a marble machine builder, that's essential knowledge. So we're doing it again for science. FreezeB on Discord has provided this information. Thank you so much. This is exactly what I was looking for. This makes me so happy. Of course you could do something like this. This will make it possible for me to make a parametric design exactly the way I want to do it. I can't praise this post enough because it's so efficient in its amount of information, and the little GIFs showing exactly everything I need to know is right in there, visual, easy to read. Plus the username is of course connected with playing disc golf. So only thing is missing is of course a butterfly. Well done Wilson emoji. There, the flying butterfly. Captain Context has you get a Captain Context because everything we needed to know from your post was right in there. All the context needed. Perfect. So the user ABW has exactly the same suggestion. He shows here the spline lines and then how you can use the sweep. So that is absolutely great. It's the same idea. I'm going to give this yummy emoji and Wilson loves it emoji. Thank you everyone for suggesting this. Special shout out to Maureen Kinetic Fingers Woo for filtering all this information to me. Thank you so much for doing that. There's a lot of activity on the Vintergatan Discord server now after the daily videos, and I'm planning to spend more time in here looking through the suggestions in the Idea Vault. So keep on putting light bulbs on the Idea Vault because I am getting finally to looking at everything you have suggested. I've seen a lot of potentially really good ideas in here. So shout out for the Vintergatan Discord server. Breaking uncharted CAD design territory with using the suggestion from FreezeB, ABW and others on the Vintergatan Discord server. I'm going to make a quick test. What I think is so cool with this design is that I can start with parameters. Name, lane angle, unit, angle, degrees, expression. Okay, so we start with 40. We add a new user parameter, tight curve. I want the angle to be steeper in a tight curve, so that's going to be pretty much. It's going to be 10. This will all make sense soon. In total, I have 4 parameters, the angle of the lane itself, and then these tight curve, medium curve, long curve is the how much we're going to lean the angle in each curve. I'm just making a random block of 18mm plywood here. So this blue field is now our profile. That's the shape of our marble lane. And now we need to do the snake to tell it where we want it to go, the curves. So I'm going to make a random curve here, doing some tight bends and some long bends. It's beautiful already. So this is what I thought the sweep was limited to do. But no, if we look in here, we can have a path plus a guide rail, and this is where the magic really kicks in. This snake line is our marble path. This is the curve for the whole path. And now I'm going to make a guide rail for the angle. And I want the guide rail to be kind of linked to the path line. So now we're gonna actually project something and use the projection link. So now you can see I can move around the top snake without the guide path going crazy. It follows. And it's actually not exactly under it. It's very, very nice because I've constrained it to the projected sketch line. So now if you see the angle of this curve there, that's a long curve right now. I can just change the angle on all my long curves in here. 8. Boom. Let's do almost straight 2. Look at that. We have global parametric control over the curves in all the CAD. That's enough for today. This is why I started this project. I love to learn. Once Discord showed me, open this Pandora's box, there is no return. I'm not going to finish something that I can do better. And I do think I'm spending my time quite well, actually. I'm, of course, in a deep rabbit hole, but I'm learning how to battle gravity with these marbles. Finding out these CAD skills is way worth it because really understanding how I can control marble speed in different sloping degree angles is quite cool. I absolutely love this. I'm so motivated now to really make an awesome first principles perfect design. Okay, have a wonderful weekend everyone, and see you next week for some more marble madness. Shh. It's not so cool. Okay, that was the camera. I thought it was gonna be cool when I like did it like shoof, but didn't go the whole picture. Friday, go go go. Hannes used that all the way into there. Boom.